Coronation Street is preparing a major development involving Todd Grimshaw and Sarah Platt, as the former friends are set to come face-to-face again in next week's episodes. Todd had previously made it clear that he wanted to distance himself from Sarah. But could his feelings now be changing? The pair's friendship has been under serious pressure since Sarah was exposed as the person responsible for the death of Theo Silverton, Todd's abusive partner. Once Todd discovered that Sarah had committed the murder, he decided to end their friendship. Todd subsequently traveled to Thailand in an attempt to clear his head and escape the turmoil surrounding the situation. However, he returns to Weatherfield on Monday, where he is immediately faced with a request from Sarah, who asks him to come and see her in prison. It appears that Todd's time away has helped him gain some perspective. During their conversation, he tells Sarah that, despite everything that happened involving Theo, he will still regard her as a close friend. Sarah then explains that she ended her relationship with Kit Green because she was worried that being with her could put his police career at risk. Sarah's decision could soon be put to the test when circumstances force her to consider getting back in touch with Kit. Her prison cellmate Casey discovers that her son has been arrested on suspicion of armed robbery. She then threatens Sarah, demanding that she persuade Kit to intervene and help her son. Sarah later explains the situation to Todd, who encourages her to contact Kit. Todd even volunteers to speak to Kit on her behalf, although Sarah is initially uncomfortable with the suggestion. Despite Sarah's reservations, Todd decides to take matters into his own hands. He approaches Kit and informs him that Sarah needs to speak with him. It remains unclear exactly how the situation will unfold, but the apparent reconciliation between Todd and Sarah is likely to please many viewers. The development also represents a positive turn for actor Gareth Pierce, who has previously described their friendship as an important part of the ITV soap. "It's such a dear relationship and so long-standing in the show," he exclusively told Digital Spy. "We as actors and our audience would really mourn it if it was entirely lost. It feels like such a lot to give up." However, Pierce acknowledged that the situation between the pair is far from straightforward, given Sarah's involvement in Theo's death. But equally, Todd's best friend has just been implicated in the murder of Theo, so it's high-stakes stuff, and it'll be interesting to see how they explore it.
Explained the actor, who first took on the role of Todd in 2020.
Alison King reveals depression after health crisis during recent Coronation Street filming. Coronation Street star Alison King delivered a memorable performance earlier this year, when her character Carla Connor married Lisa Connor Swain, Vicky Meyer, in a joyful ceremony that fans affectionately nicknamed Swarla. However, viewers were unaware of just how difficult things were for Alison away from the cameras. In a TikTok video, the actress opened up about developing a chest infection that severely affected both her breathing and movement, with the illness taking a significant toll on her physical and emotional well-being. "At the beginning of the year, my nervous system seemed to need rebalancing," she explained. Alison revealed that she picked up the chest infection from 2 young actors she worked with on the soap. "Then, at the beginning of this year, I got a chest infection from 2 of the gorgeous little babies at work. Actually, when we were filming the wedding, I had been coughing and coughing and coughing. My right lung was hurting. My chest was hurting anyway. It was sick of the coughing. It was inflamed." Her persistent and painful coughing became so severe that Alison believed she may have damaged one of her intercostal muscles, which sit between the ribs and help support breathing. The actress then described how the ongoing discomfort had a major impact on her daily life, particularly because she was unable to take part in swimming, which has always been an important form of exercise and relaxation for her. "Because of my nervous system and not doing anything, I was really struggling to breathe a full breath. I couldn't swim, which I do all the time because that's my therapy. I couldn't do anything." Being unable to exercise eventually led to Alison gaining weight, and she admitted that she subsequently experienced depression. Thankfully, she was eventually able to move past the difficult period and found ways to manage her symptoms through treatments including reflexology and Reiki. The actress has since reassured her followers that she is now feeling good and happy. Meanwhile, Alison has remained heavily involved in some of Coronation Street's biggest storylines. recently filming intense courtroom scenes surrounding Sarah Platt's Tina O'Brien upcoming trial for the murder of Theo Silverton James Cartwright. Theo was brutally attacked on the night of Carla and Lisa's wedding reception in April, with their daughter Betsy Sydney Martin later discovering his body. Carla has also been dealing with another devastating crisis involving Betsy, who suffered a life-changing stroke that left her struggling to speak properly. The storyline revealed that Betsy's injuries were linked to experimenting with non-fatal strangulation, adding another deeply emotional situation for Carla to deal with alongside the fallout from Theo's death. George rejects Christina in Coronation Street as she slips into despair. Coronation Street's George Shuttleworth, Tony Maudsley, has become one of Weatherfield's most adored residents. Known for his gentle nature, kindness, and huge heart, the lovable Undertaker has become a firm favorite with viewers since arriving on the cobbles. His caring relationship with Todd Grimshaw Gareth Pierce, combined with the unwavering support he offered while Todd dealt with the horrific abuse inflicted by Theo Silverton James Cartwright, has only strengthened George's reputation as one of the show's most compassionate characters. Christina Boyd Amy Robbins, meanwhile, had a very different introduction to the soap. When she first arrived as Daisy Midgley's Charlotte Jordan mother, she quickly gained a reputation for being manipulative, calculating, and cruel. Christina was initially portrayed as a cold-hearted con artist, but her departure, subsequent return, and eventual romance with George gradually changed how residents and viewers perceived her. Beneath her harsh exterior, she began showing a much softer and more caring side. However, concerns about Christina's behavior resurfaced when she began receiving a series of unexplained phone calls. It soon became obvious that she was keeping a major secret, while George's sister Glenda Jodie Prenger became increasingly determined to discover exactly what was going on. Glenda eventually took matters into her own hands when Christina slipped away to her car. After searching through her bag, she discovered a credit card statement that appeared to be connected to Mary Taylor Patty Clare. George was left even more puzzled after spotting Christina in the precinct embracing a mysterious man named Lenny Joe Osborne. When he confronted her, Christina was finally forced to reveal the truth. It emerged that Christina had developed a serious addiction to spending and had taken out a credit card using the identity of Lenny, her former husband. George was stunned when Christina admitted that she had also used Mary's and Glenda's personal details to obtain additional credit cards. Although Christina eventually confessed everything and attended a support group for people struggling with addiction at the community center, she still failed to overcome her spending problems. Todd later discovered that Christina had continued secretly spending money, despite promising to change. Next week, George and Christina are preparing for a trip to Somerset to visit some of George's cousins. However, Todd tells George that Christina has, once again, been spending behind his back. As a result, George decides that she can no longer accompany him on the trip and chooses to travel alone. Desperate to take her mind off the situation, Christina heads to the Rovers with Todd for an evening out. But she soon admits that she cannot enjoy herself, as she is consumed by the fear that her actions may have permanently destroyed her relationship with George. Coronation Street airs on weeknights at 8:30 p.m. on ITV1 and streams on ITVX.